Good afternoon, potato chips, wee Paddy from across the shuck. And I'm going to just do a wee video that was sort of brought from, me and Justin recorded a podcast, which will be edited and up by probably Wednesday. But this is just a video on the pricing of knives and how it affects me and what I deal, not I deal with, that's terrible. I often get comments, oh, it's all right for you, you get given knives in it. Look, I buy more than I'm given. I've collected more than I've given. I've traded for more than I'm given. So that's really just a bit of a silly thing. I am fortunate, and I feel very fortunate that after years of doing this channel, I get given some beautiful knives. But it doesn't stop my review of them, as in, you know, they're too dear. They're this. If I'm buying them for me, they're not too dear for me because I'm buying them. And I don't get myself into debt for knives. I don't get myself into debt for this channel. I rub close sometimes on my leisure money, but I don't do it. And that's always been the thing. I never wanted to get in debt. I want this to be a hobby, as something that I enjoy. And I don't go to a lot of companies and ask them to give me free knives anymore. I did in the beginning, and I got hundreds, especially on the budget line, and they've come and they've gone. And I still have a lovely memory of that time of getting a new budget knife. And that genuinely hasn't changed from then to today. So I'm not a high end by any means. There's boys out there like Metal Complex and Stazza. They've got money and they can buy the new knives that are coming out. And like I said in the show last night, that's absolutely fantastic. And I love watching them. I have no jealousy towards somebody having great knives. I've got a collection that I've built up now that I love. And I know I'm more blessed than a lot of other people. I'm not so blessed against some others. But it's a blessing that we've got spare cash. This is a first world problem. How much you're going to spend on a knife. Oh, you're spending too much. You need to spend more. There's so many arguments out there about prices and what they are. So more of anything else, I just want to say, let people who are doing videos and showing you their knives, let them buy what they want. It's not that I don't want people to comment, but these comments, some of the comments, and you're thinking, why? Why do you have to say that? Why? It's the man in front of you on the video has bought it with his own money. He's got it there, and it's just a gorgeous knife to him. And that's the important, and he's sharing that with you. So I don't know whether I'm making any sense, but what I decided to do, there is a difference in value on what you can get for a knife. And I want to try and show you just a few of the things that makes the difference from me from a budget knife to a high-end knife. And to be honest with you, I know for a fact for between 20 and 40 pounds, I could buy a knife that could last me 10 years and do everything I need to do. There's no problem. I could buy it. I've got some of my collection now that would do that. So I've stepped up a little bit. This one is a 60-pound knife. This is the Twisted Junzi from Twisted Assisted. I got this for free. This is the Giant Mouse Farley, which is an absolutely beautiful knife, about 150 pounds. I got that given to me. This is a Jack Wolf knife, the Midnight Jack. This I got from Ben Belkin as a gift and to show off. So these are 3 gifts. The 3 knives, they're at different price ranges and about £100 between each price. They'll all do the job that I want to do, but that's not what I am. I'm not here to sell you on just budget knives or just medium price knives or just high-end knives. I'm here to share what I've got. If I can give advice to somebody, there's a lot of people, and God love you, I mean, in my channel, that do accept what I say and they go ahead and buy the knives. And I don't and this is not blowing my own trumpet, it's just true. I don't very often get people who have bought one of the knives that I bought and just disliked them and thought they were a rubbish buy. So, I mean, that pleases me. That's my joy in this. If I can share something that I believe, and these are all free, I don't have to, yes, I'm promoting the companies by showing them on the channel, but I just wanted to put free ones out. So just to show you that even a budget knife will get as much airtime as this, because I like the knives. And if I didn't like these knives, genuinely didn't like them, they wouldn't be here on the channel. If I put something on my channel, it's because I like it. I have got, I could, I couldn't even remember the names of half the knives that didn't make my channel because I personally didn't like them. I bought them, they were all right, they might have done, but they weren't me, so they didn't go on the channel. So, did I don't know what I made myself, I hope so. But perceived value, I know that this £60 knife here, this is a Junzi, the Twisted Junzi. It's made by Bestech. It's a slip joint. It's got a clip on it. It's a fantastic. It's got a secondary. Lovely little knife. It's got a deep carry clip if that's what you want. Listen to that snap. Beautiful. Forward choil. Completely safe. Slip joint. Completely. But that could do me the rest of my life. It's D2 steel on it. Micarta handles. Deep carry clip. Gorgeous little knife. Fits in my hand lovely. Even that clip doesn't bother me that much. But again, this is a small knife. I'm not going to do heavy tasks with it. So it can get away with a clip. I don't need it on there. I just leave it on there because that's the way it's sold. Fantastic little knife. Absolutely fantastic. And at £60, it's the higher end of my, what I would call budget knives. But as much as I love that and I use it, and it's not one that just lies in the drawer. I use it. It's a lovely knife. Yes, it mightn't be battered because I don't hard use. So I'm not going to pretend to go out and beat something just to get somebody to go and buy a knife. That's not me. There's plenty of channels out there that beat their knives to death to show you how good they are at taking punishment. Mine are not. Mine are pocket knives. And most of my knives now are pocket knives. I don't have as many locking knives. So this little Junzi, the fit and finish of it is fantastic. And when I say that, I mean it. And it's the same as I say with a Jack Wolf. The fit and finish is world class. I usually try and use something a bit more because it is world class. In the knife world, this is every bit as good. It's not as... The fit and finish on this, they're all production knives. But the fit and finish on this is an easy put together. They make all the parts. They're in boxes. Somebody sits, puts them all together, screws them together, and that's it, and off out they go. Because they have these inbuilt gaps and all, you never get to see exactly how good they are because this throws the eyes off. You have a line down both sides. The micarta on this is maybe not the best in the world. I'm not even sure if this is G10 or micarta, but they do micarta ones, I know that. They're easily changeable scales on it. Just fantastic. It's honestly, genuinely, you can't go wrong with that knife. Fantastic. And they've still got them for sale. These have been on the site for ages. They're still on the site. Go there, buy them. There's customizable, which is what most people want. You can buy a scale for these for a very, very reasonable price and change it over every now and then just to give yourself a new knife. So budget-wise, fantastic. You can have different scales. That £60 can go a long way. And then if you add in another £20, £30 and buy new scales, you've got a different colour of knife and different material, which is fantastic. So that's the high end of budget, and that could do me the rest of my life. This next one is a Giant Mouse Farley. Again, a slip joint. Beautiful micarta on this one. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. Beautiful micarta. M390 on this blade, right? So one of the top high-end steels. This could definitely do me the rest of my life. £150, really well put together. Again, it's that Italian sort of flavour of putting things together where you've got rounded back springs. This again can be built as a production run. They do each of the scales, bring them on, put them on, and they fit. Do you know, there's no fitting them to the knife. They just fit because they're all the same. It's repeatable. They don't have to have any special hand finishing as such. But what they do is fantastic. What they do is absolutely super. You can put a pocket clip in this one if you want. I don't. And yet, you know, my 4 fingers are sort of cramped in this, but it's a pocket knife. You know, I don't need, my third one can hang just here at the bottom and it locks it in. Absolutely super. So I don't need a bigger knife for me. This is beautiful. Lovely grind on it. Nice thin enough grind behind the edge. Lovely slicer. Just a beautiful. This has got that crown spine. Looks sensational. And honestly, I haven't had anything with fit and finish that would cause me any grief. These are all pretty well right up the middle centering. Super, super knife. I get this from Fraymar Knives. That's who supplied it for me, to sort of show to you. That is one of my favourite knives. And that is one of my favourite knives for two completely different reasons. Because I remember what the price range is. And you get what you pay for. At £60, you're not going to get M390. I like M390. I like D2. So it purely, once you get over budget and you start spending money on stuff that's this side of the table, it's choice. It's choice. And if you're reviewing something at this end of the table, you've got to make sure you're going to tell somebody the exact truth as you see it. Because if you don't, you'll get caught out very quickly in this game. Because there's so many eyes that are watching for you to make a mistake rather than enjoying the joy that you give. And that's just YouTube. And that doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's always there. If you're going to put your face on a channel or put your content up, you have to accept that not everybody's going to like it, or you. Or you. And I'm sort of talking to people maybe that are not that long around and are trying to move on. Don't take what people say to heart. And I know that is very hard to do because I'm stroppy and I sometimes just get into arguments because I can't stop myself. But that's Paddy. That is me. That's a real me. And like that, when I say these knives are fantastic, they are. To me, these are fantastic knives. But that Farley is absolutely amazing. It was my first giant mouse and I just loved it. That was my first Bestech, I think. Absolutely stunning knife that Bestech do. So to get on to the most expensive one, this one is £250 with a micarta, titanium, integral titanium, M390. Now, what's the difference between this and this? We know there's a big difference between this and this one. It's a big difference. But between this and this is 150, this is 250. Let me tell you the difference. Once you start getting over the 150, to be honest with you, you're going for the maker you like, you're going for the materials you like, but you're going for that one thing that this £150 knife can't give, in my opinion, is that step up in design. That's something different that not everybody has, and not necessarily because of the price, because not everybody's going to like blade shapes the same. Not everybody's going to like slip joints. So this in itself is a design that is absolutely fantastic. And this is a screw together piece. It's a slip joint, but it's a modern version of it. So the boy that designed it, Ben Belkin, has put his time and effort into design this sheep's foot knife the way he wanted to do it. And I just fell in love with Ben Designs long before they came to fruition. On the pictures that we'd seen beforehand, I followed him. I knew him before he had the company. He was a knife collector himself and an avid knife collector. He has a fantastic collection. But this to me was different. It wasn't the same. You're getting the old-fashioned coffin end to the knife, which is unusual now to get even in true slip, old-fashioned slip joints. This is not very common, but it's done so well, so well. The lovely big bolster, ring bolsters. Now, this fit and finish is better than either of these two by far. This fit and finish is world class. I honestly mean that. This is world class. This knife is not made in separate pieces. They're thrown in a bucket, you pick them up and put them on the knife. That's what these are doing. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not running that down. But this isn't. This is hand finished. Underneath these scales, which I've taken apart because I dyed this one, these are all numbered. So these scales will only go with this knife, this back spring. And when they're put together, they're hafted together. And then they have to be taken off to finish off the rest of the night. But they have to haft all this, and that's done by hand. That's a skill in itself, because sometimes when you can see cheaper knives that have been hafted, like the Chinese Rough Riders, fantastic. But you'll look at the back of them and you'll see this angle here. Let me just get this angle at the back. You'll see it all, different angles. It'll not be perfectly straight. It'll be a wee bit one way or the other. You'll not see that in this. This is just beautifully hafted. And look at the hafting and how sharp the hafting has to be with all these different angles. They all have to be hafted individually. And these integral bolsters are actually, they all go fit together. If you changed one of them onto another one, they wouldn't fit. And that's why you don't get aftermarket scales. Now, you can send a knife to somebody and get them to make you aftermarket scales. There's nothing wrong with that, but it has to be done individually. That's the difference. So that stands out. That detail in finish a knife off, which is hafted, that makes a huge difference between this and this. Like I said, the Italian style is sort of these domed over, and they don't have to be as absolutely proficient in hafting because they don't have to do any of it. And is that a bad thing? No, that's the way these are made. And they're worth every penny for what they're made. Absolutely worth every penny. Fantastic knife. But this is when you're getting into craftsmanship that needs to go on. The blade grinds. Blade grind on this is great. The blade grind on this is a little bit better. I'll be honest with you, it's a little bit better. The blade grind on this is just, again, I'm sorry, but it's world class. It's world class. That hollow grind that they have in this, it's a full hollow grind, high hollow grind. It's just unbelievably fantastic. And what are we on? We've had 6 different variants now, and they've all been done to perfection. There was one knife, the little bro, that came out, there was a bit of blade wrap on it. It was taken immediately off. People refunded their money, and it's been redesigned already. It'll be coming out next year properly. That's what getting somebody like Ben and the higher end knives, that's what they do. Because his credibility is everything. His credibility is everything. And we have had 6 knives that are outstanding. Outstanding. And if you're a slip joint person, you'll know just what I'm saying. Their designs, they're taken from knives, the designs of the past, but brought modern. And it's just such a joy. For me especially, I love it. I really do love it. And some of the old things brought back, the long pulls, I love that. But these are about 3 mil thick. And with a high hollow grind, you can pinch. Every one so far, you've been able to put your hand and pinch. You don't need to stick your nails in. That's more of a decorative thing. But it's great for pinching open. So the blade steel is fantastic. The heat treat is good on them. Just the whole fit and finish, I can't find fault with. I can find very little fault with this one. And I can find very little fault with this one. So what it is, once you go over that £150, in my eyes, it has to be design. And then it has to be the skill of the craftsman who puts it together. And this is a Chinese OEM. People say, oh, they're just in a back street making knives. No, this is made by craftsmen. Let me just tell you that for a start, craftsmen. Because if it was just anybody could do it, we'd be making them in America and we'd be making them in the UK. This is done by craftsmen on high-end machinery. Yes, but it's still hand-finished by craftsmen. So, now, I started this off by saying these are all ones that I had been given to show. I have my own versions of high-end knives that are from this and much cheaper than this to higher than this that I've bought and paid for. And if I was to choose any one of them 3 and put them in this arrangement, it would be exactly the same outcome. This sort of high-end budget, the way they're making them now, especially the Chinese, the way they're making them now, they are lifelong companions. This will do you forever. You have to be a knife lover to go above this. You really do. To get to £150, that's one heck of a lot of money for a budget knife. I mean, I can remember when I started, and £30, I'm thinking, well, I can buy one for a tenner. Why am I buying one at £30? And the answer is because you want to. The answer is because you want to. Because that next little increment in price gives you something better that you perceive to be better in the knife. Again, bringing it back to, it's a personal hobby shared with millions. Shared with millions. So there's a difference between this one, and then there's a difference between this one and this one. Now, the caveat. Can you buy bad ones at this price? Yes. Can you buy bad ones at this price? Yes. Can you buy bad ones at this price? Yes. Paddy, have you done that? At all 3. And I've done it more than once. because till you get something in hand, the hype that you can see on YouTube would, blow you away. And on online, following online things, and people say, this is a custom knife, it's high end, it's beautiful, I get wrapped away and I've ordered them, and they've come to me, and to be honest with you, they are crap. Some of the high end customs I bought don't even get to this standard. Don't even get to this standard. Now, it's not my job to point them people out, but there's some ones you'll never see in my channel. I have a drawer of 4 high-end knives that I bought online off people and seen pictures. They looked absolutely super, and when I got them, they were a bundle of cack, and it's no wonder the person sold them to me. Do you know what I mean? So you don't see them on my channel. I'm not here to run people down. If you want to rip somebody off and sell them a duffer, that's your problem. That's not mine. You need the money more than I do. You're happy, take my money. You need it more than I do. But just be careful out there once you get up here what you're buying. If you can't buy it in hand, or know somebody like Ben Belkin, and I know him, or know somebody like Frank over at Framar Knives, who sells these, by the way. They're all connected, who sells these. And I know Frank, and if I got anything for Frank that wasn't up to date, he'd be horrified if I didn't send it back and let him fix the problem. Do you know what I mean? He's a mama's and papa's store. Him and his son, fantastic. This one, I know the owner of these. So he sends them to me to review. And if I like them, not if I like them, I've liked every one of his. One maybe not so much as the other, but I said that. It was a tiny knife that I wasn't, but it was a good knife. What I reported on and what was in front of me, and I stand by it, it's an excellent little knife. But he's got some fantastic ideas in getting them done, getting them made by Bestech. And we get them over here in the UK at a reasonable price, which is fantastic. So I've reasons to buy from all of these people. And I've reasons to accept knives to review on my channel for you and me. Because I want you to go out. And if I'm excited and I'm telling you this knife is the bee's knees, to me in my head, why would anybody not believe me? And that is the madness of the knife world. I do get animated because I still get so excited. But there we go. I hope that's so when you get on my channel and you want to say, oh, that's stupid, it's all right for you, you've got all that money. I don't have all that money. Me and my wife are retired. I'm not on any special pensions that keeps me rich. I have a wee half pension from a Navy, and that's the extras I've got. So yes, I'm comfortably well off than most of the world, but not money-wise. And I just want to let you know that that's what it is, and that's why I enjoy budget, mid, high, and everything in between. I have had a knife that was worth £600. I couldn't keep it. It was too expensive to keep. I had to move it on to get some money in the channel. But it was a beautiful knife. And was it worth the £600? Yeah, probably. Because the work that went into it. Yeah, in fact, not probably. The work that went into it was just outstanding. And if that was something you could afford, I would have it all day of the week for my collection. Definitely. So there we go. Anyway, talked long enough. I hope this is if anybody gets anything out of it, let me know down below. And please like and subscribe if you can. YouTube's playing funny buggers at the minute. I'm struggling. It's not that I'm struggling. They take so many subs off you. I don't know what way they're running it now, but I would love more subscribers because it gives me a chance to talk to more people. Right? Take care. Paddy's gone. Cup of tea time.